The humble tomato is a staple across India, whether it be as the base of a curry or for chutneys. And that's why the jump in tomato prices has been the subject of discussions for some time now. By July 5th, the price of tomatoes in some cities had reportedly shot up to about 150 rupees per kg. It was selling at 15 rupees a kg in the first week of May. A day before, an agency report said that retail tomato prices were hovering in the range of 58 to 148 rupees per kg in metros, with prices in Kolkata at the top of the range and those in Mumbai at the bottom. According to Consumer Affairs Ministry data, the average all-India retail price was about 83 rupees per kg. Prices of other vegetables have also been rising across states. According to a national daily, by July 4th, vegetable prices in Patna had shot up significantly since the beginning of May. The maximum increase was seen in tomatoes, but cauliflower, cabbage, and ladyfinger prices also shot up. For example, cauliflower prices jumped 50% from where they stood in early May to touch 60 rupees per kg. Vegetable prices in West Bengal also shot up by an average of 30 to 35%. The cost of green chilies, another Indian staple, actually doubled to 300 rupees per kg in just 7 days. Some wholesalers, meanwhile, told a national daily that vegetable prices had doubled in just 1 week. And as a result, sales had plummeted by up to 40%. Coming back to tomatoes, the government has said that the sharp jump in prices is a seasonal phenomenon, and they are expected to cool down in the coming 15 days. Overall, while economists have reportedly categorized the rise in vegetable prices as transitory and said that they are unlikely to affect the RBI Monetary Policy Committee's plans, they have also warned that the RBI was likely to become more cautious. India's consumer price index-based inflation rate cooled to a 25-month low in May at 4.25%, against 4.7% the previous month. So, the headline inflation has been within the RBI's upper tolerance limit for the third consecutive month. Meanwhile, food inflation fell to an 18-month low of 2.91% in May, from 3.84% in April. The RBI's Monetary Policy Committee on June 8th unanimously approved keeping the benchmark lending rates unchanged for a second straight time. According to RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das, the decision to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 6.5% was taken keeping in mind that the MPC's cumulative rate hike of 250 basis points was transmitting through the economy, and its full impact would likely keep inflationary pressures contained in coming months. The MPC also lowered the inflation projection for FY24 to 5.1%, from 5.2% earlier. After the policy review, Das had said that RBI's target was to see that headline inflation aligned with the target on a durable basis. He had added that the primary target was 4%. Against this backdrop, what implications does the spike in vegetable prices hold for RBI's inflation fight?
Not much, actually. The horticulture cycle is about 3 to 4 months. All right. So at the moment, yes, we do have a problem, but with timely rains, hopefully by the time we hit the next cycle, vegetable prices would be down sharply. So if I were the RBI at this moment, I would simply look through this particular aspect of inflation.
Today, when we're talking of vegetable prices going up, I think vegetable inflation has the potential to actually spike up the inflation number. And this number of 5.4%, which the RBI expects in the third quarter, could probably be, we could come closer towards it even before the third quarter in case the vegetable prices spike up. So what this will actually mean is that when the RBI is contemplating policy for the next time, definitely vegetable inflation will be something high on its mind. So even though it knows that monetary policy cannot affect vegetable prices, but if vegetable prices continue increasing the way in which they're doing, which looks likely at least for the next month or so, there will be further pressure on the inflation number.
Governor Das had stressed that the MPC's April decision was simply a pause, not a pivot. But when the MPC voted to pause yet again in June, India Inc. had begun to hope for a cut in the policy repo rate, even though economists weren't expecting such an action in the near future. Now, given the current circumstances, what is their view on coming rate actions?
In any case, I don't think there was any possibility of a rate cut till much, much later. The fact of the matter is that inflationary expectations have still not been completely anchored. And you have to allow the rate hikes that took place in the past to work their way through so that those expectations are totally dampened. I don't expect rate cuts happening anytime before the end of the year, mostly next year sometime. And this is not going to change it dramatically. If anything, it will reinforce it because there would be a tendency for the expectations to get unanchored again.
I would tend to believe that a rate cut is not happening in this calendar year. The reason is going by the RBI forecast of inflation. It's going to peak at 5.4% in the third quarter and then come down to 5.2%. So as long as the inflation trajectory is upwards, very unlikely that the RBI would cut the rates in the current calendar year. Let's assume the vegetable prices come down for some reason and inflation is more benign. Will the RBI go in for a rate cut at this point of time? To my mind, even that is something which will not really happen, because if you look at what other central banks are doing, they have actually indicated that there would be increase in their rates. On the investment side, that's something which the RBI will keep in mind. The February policy could be the earliest when the RBI could be lowering the repo rate.
Both experts differ on how RBI's inflation fight will be affected, but they agree that a rate cut is unlikely this calendar year. While the increase in food prices is due to transitory supply shocks such as rains impacting harvesting in producing regions, more such shocks could become a real headache for the RBI.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
She's working her way to the corner office. Business Standard.